it's better to switch English just because maybe someone else will join us. And as I remember, some colleagues from America just asked us to make a recording for them. So there is why I'll continue in English. And in case you have any questions, just don't worry, interrupt me, because it's not very easy just to follow and just check all monitors. So there is why, don't worry about that. So thank you for joining me today. So it's like my first attempt to conduct such a session for Global BA community. My name is Yjinia Aucharenka. Sorry, just so I know that some of you knows me, someone know, but still, today I decided to conduct booking club session. It's a first session for us, and I decided to start with not a very easy book, but still I believe it's like something cool and useful for us as business analysts and someone who works in IT sphere and just with other managers also. So what I'm going to do today, so firstly, let me, yep, do you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
with the book. Yeah, perfect. So from the very beginning, I'm going just to explain a bit what is booking club. So secondly, I'll explain a bit structure for book and my general expression of this book, and then we will continue discussing chapters of it. Yep, and here is like explanation what is booking club. So like for me personally, so I'm a bit expired with the books. I love reading, and it's cool when you have community with whom you can just discuss the whole content you have read. Sometimes, and we have like big lists of books we are going to read, and we lack time to do that. So it's very cool to join such community and to get small feedbacks or maybe even summary of a book. So you can just make a decision to read it or not, or just, I don't know, not waste time and to continue with something else. So for me, it's like something to get some inspiration to read more, to upskill, to upgrade, and I don't know, it's a cool opportunity for us to talk to each other. So speaking about some rules, I decided to set up something for us, but still just keep in mind that it's something not official. It's unofficial initiative inside of community. So there is why feel free to, I don't know, express your ideas, opinions, and so on. But still, the main language for us is English, just because we have people from different locations. We are cross-local, firstly. Secondly, no limits to contribution. So it's mostly about the point that I'm not going to be the only facilitator of such booking clubs. So I mean that, of course, from my side, I'll try to prepare the content that can be discussed, but still I expect from towards you that you will also share your opinion, your feedbacks, comments, and so on. So there is why please don't fear about, I don't know, unmute your microphone, turn on your camera, and just comment the content you just see on the screen. And just keep in mind that we should be respectful to each other. So just don't be rude, and try not to interrupt each other. So that's it. And the last point here, that we are not in rush. So of course, we should set up something like a schedule for us, what books, what part of books we should just read by particular milestone. But still, we have no plan right now, so our velocity is unclear. So there is why just don't think about time. So let's enjoy the moment we can discuss the content. Yep, and let's move on to the book itself. So before just starting, I want to ask you to put in the chat plus if you haven't started the book yet. So I just want to I just want to understand how many people know the content in the book. I'm not sure what should you use, Q&A or chat, but still, so
Haven't started or haven't read?
haven't read, haven't started, so it doesn't matter. So I mean, like, you are not familiar with the book. Okay, so as I understand, two. Okay, but still, I have several people who have started the book. So I hope you, first of all, will support me during the call and will share your opinion also. So speaking about the book itself, um, I should like explain what structure it has, just for your understanding, what kind of content will be inside, just on my slides. So each chapter is a lore. So we have 48, and each law consists of several parts. So judgment, it's a small law definition, I would say. Then transgression and observation, it's mostly like real cases that can show us the result of following or unfollowing this law. Then we have keys to power. It's mostly like theoretical explanation of law, sounds like more big and extended with some, I don't know, details like bigger than definition. So and reversal, it's like, I don't know, another side of a coin that we should of course like follow this law, but still, so we have something contrary. Um, yeah, and like about my own expression about this book. So I decided to read the book like as I'm on management position. So I just should lead my team. Stakeholder management also is like a responsibility for me. So I should know principles of influencing people. But after reading several chapters, I haven't finished it yet, but still, so after reading several chapters, I became shocked a bit as most approaches inside I against of humanity, I would say, empathy, kindness, and I considered to put it on shelf, but my friend who had recommended that book to me, he just said that it's better to read it and just for not becoming like victim of bad managers or leaders who can manipulate us. So that is why, yeah, I decided to continue with the book. Um, I would appreciate if in the very end you will also share your feedback on particular book, because like for me it's something very, very, I don't know, like something in the middle between kindness and angry. So just a second. Okay, so let's move on to the first chapter. So and it's like never outshine the master. So what I have on my slides, it's like quotes that I'm going to read, first of all, to you, especially for those who haven't read the book yet. And in the very end, I'll share my own feedback and will expect your feedbacks also. But still, feel free to interrupt me in any moment you like. Just I'll make pause and you'll share your own opinion. And in case you have your own highlights that you think are important to be like mentioned today, so do that, please. So it will be great because I don't want to be the only speaker today. So speaking about particular law, never outshine the master. So always make those above you feel comfortably superior. In your desire to please or impress them, do not go too far in displaying your talents, or you might accomplish the opposite, inspire fear and insecurity. Make your master appear more brilliant than they are, and they will attain the highest of power. Everyone has insecurities. When you show yourself in the world and display your talent, you naturally stir up all kinds of resentment, envy, and other manifestations of insecurity. This is to be expected. You can't spend your life worrying about the pretty feelings of others. With those above you, however, you must take a different approach. When it comes to power, outshining the master is perhaps the worst mistake of all. And I highlighted two rules of this law that, like according to the book, we should realize. The first one, first you can uneventually outshine a master simply by being yourself. The lesson is simple. If you can't help being charming and superior, you must learn to avoid such monsters of vanity. Either that or find a way to mute your good qualities. Second, never imagine that because the masters love, you can do anything you want. Remember the following. Never take your position for granted and never let your favor you receive to go to your head. So, and small reversal to this law, you can't worry about upsetting every person you come across, but you must be selectively cruel. If your superior is a fallen star, there is nothing to fear from outshining him. So, after having read the first lines of the chapter, so my expression was just, come on, we left these times in the past when people should flatter bosses, especially in IT, because we appreciate smart initiatives, smart people, so they are like swords. But then I realized and recall just one case from my own life when I joined the project as a BA several years ago. And the whole project vision was defined by ambitious tech lead. And I found a lot of weaknesses in this product vision, but then just realized that this tech lead wouldn't allow me to change something. So I did everything according to this law. Just from the very beginning, I um, helped him and just make him to feel himself smart. So secondly, my step was just to sharing my own ideas, highlighting his impact to my decisions and my ideas. And just after that, when the whole team just understood, I don't know, like what influence I can just have to particular product. So like the power of particular tech lead just decreased. So I got my own power. So there is why I can't be super against a particular law, but still, so like in IT, sometimes, so it's something against our rules, against our approaches that we have inside of company, inside of projects. So it's like my first impression. Right now, it's your time to share your opinion. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with the reversal idea of it, that we cannot satisfy or we cannot worry about each and every person out there, and we cannot worry about whether we are upsetting them or not, right? Each and every person. We have to be selectively cruel. That, yeah, I have faced something in my life, so I kind of agree to it.
Yeah, thanks. Well, I believe we can not use this function raise hand. So if you have some thoughts, just try not to interrupt others, but still just go ahead with your thoughts.
Okay. So I would say that basically I can't disagree with the idea, but I don't like the approach. This approach is based more on manipulations and on like manipulating other and becoming superior. But you can look at this from the perspective of diplomacy and just not wishing to offend anyone or not to make excessive showing off or demonstrating not demonstrating too much that you are smarter than others, not to be too superior. So this way, this idea makes more sense to me. But just the whole book, I would say, is written from a position of a bit like psychopath or a person who needs some good therapy, who dislikes and doesn't trust people and sees enemies and competitors everywhere. But if you look at people more like at your colleagues, teammates, friends, or just normal people who deserve respect and friendly attitude, then you would just promote your ideas more softly. That's my point.
Yeah, so fully agree. But let's not spoiler the whole book. But I fully agree just about manipulators and like such neurasthenics who just see enemies around of him. But yeah, fully agree.
Sorry, I just wanted to tell that I haven't read the whole book. I read only the introduction and the first chapter. So that's the idea which I got from introduction first
Okay.
chapter. Thanks.
Okay. Any other opinions?
Hi everyone.
Hi.
Like, I like the expression when if you want to please everyone, you should be a seller of an ice cream, and that's that kind of in any managerial decision, you always it's always trade-off. And from my perspective, the approach of the servant leadership, it's, let's say, quite good framework to approach such a difficult, like not difficult, but let's say silly from other perspective decisions. And as I think, we are as managers in EPAM in a quite good position from that perspective, or at any kind of service company, because we all know and we can always navigate team that not all the decisions can be or should be as smart as it's possible, because we are still should be in line with the business and of the client, and business, as we all know, is always have a lot of like kind of limitations, borders, even politics and stuff like that. And from that perspective, we always can say that, yeah, guys, yeah, I can hear you. I definitely hear you, but unfortunately, we're not in a position where we can provide that. And from that perspective, that's always like, two things. The first one is the last word is after the manager, who can say, okay, so that's all good, but we do in this way. And the second thing is that it is respectful. So you're not, let's say, trying to disagree with someone or argue against a good idea just because, but you're showing the explanation. And actually, from that perspective, team is always, willing to subordinate, I would say. So they always kind of in the way, in the mood that, okay, so this guy is not just trying to command us or trying to push his silly ideas, but he's like trying to, navigate just between business, technical decision and stuff like that. And that's always kind of that's always work this way. And for business analysts, I would say that is always such, and I am quite sure that you, Yjinia, also like seen that in your practice, that when you say something and when you are in a meeting with the client and also some technical guys there, they always see how you're trying to, like shuffle all of those kind of things just to, let's say, please everyone and be this kind of ice cream seller. so yeah, from that perspective, I would say that like we can disagree, but that disagreement should be always respectful for to our teammates, to our guys, and also to our client.
Yeah, fully agree. And just it's an ability of a strong person just to get not like you lose, but still and not like that someone won you, but I don't know, that someone has a more correct idea, I would say more just truly idea, something like that. So it's like only strong person can just get that point and agree with it. So and continue just discussing something new, just not to insist on his own arguments, and that's all. So there is why, yes. So from this point of view, I fully agree with you. Okay,
I
anyone
actually
else?
heard
Yeah.
this thing you just mentioned, that vulnerability. I've just heard a couple of days ago from Simon Sinek. He told that like the vulnerability shown by a manager or leader is a kind of his superpower.
Yeah. Thanks. Anyone else?
Well, if I may I also express some of my thoughts here.
Go ahead.
So I can see why this law can work sometimes, but still, although I don't agree with it completely, maybe. So to my mind, it's a little bit strange to hide or to be afraid to show your I don't know, leader or your manager what better things or what better sides of this question problems are, and how you can solve them, for example, better than he proposes to. And supporting this idea, I have recently read an abstraction from the book about Netflix, actually, about their way of leading the company. And it was said that the basic rule of this like company is that there are no rules. And one of such aspects is that employees it's okay for employees to not to agree with their managers. So the company is open to it, and employees are taught that they can openly try other things, maybe even those that are not approved by their managers, and it's okay. So they are free with their actions. Of course, as far as these actions are fit into some normal boundaries, let's say so. But anyway, the main like idea of this leadership and this way of management there is that uh, employees can freely try something that can maybe even be opposite to the things that their managers do. So it is quite an interesting approach to my mind, and in this way it refutes this law of this book. So it's a controversial
You know,
point, I guess.
yeah, so I can just agree with you because some time ago I also read a book about Google and their approach to lead the company, and just for making aggressive development of the company, just for getting a bigger share of the market. So they decided to make some like organization of their org hierarchy, and they just cut a lot of levels of management, and so they just tried to decrease the number of these layers, because these lead to the moment when we are trying to sell this ice cream to each layer, just for getting some green light for your idea. So, and it somehow limit company. So there is why from this perspective, yes, it's not the best, I don't know, way for developing, just achieving some results in such big scale, but still for a particular person for getting this power. So we should understand that how it works with others. So how people just I don't know, like express their feelings towards some, I don't know, behavior from our sides. So there is why it's good to keep in mind such
yeah, it's always useful, yeah, to know
yeah.
such techniques.
Okay, moving on. Oh, we have other opinions. Okay, let's move on in this case. Yep. So, the second one, never put too much trust in friends, learn how to use enemies. Be wary of friends, they will betray you more quickly, for they are easily aroused to envy. They also become spoiled and tyrannical. But hire a former enemy and he will be more loyal than a friend because he has more to prove. In fact, you have more to fear from friends than from enemies. If you have no enemies, find a way to make them. I put several quotes that I found in a book. So the first one, to have a good enemy, choose a friend. He knows where to strike. The second one, Lord, protect me from my friends. I can take care of my enemies. And the last one, pick up a beer from kindness and learn some of the kindness. And speaking about explanation of the law itself, so the problem is that you often don't know your friends as well as you can imagine. So since honestly rarely strengthens friendship, you may never know how friends truly feels. So it means that sometimes they just tell us words that we expect from them. And then if you never expect gratitude from a friend, you will be pleasantly surprised when they do prove gratefully. Without enemies around us, we grow lazy. And the last one, you are far better off with the clear opponent or two than knowing where your real enemies lie. And reversal. Although it's just a second. Although Sorry, my kid is at home, so that is why it's a bit loud. Although it's generally best not to mix work with friendship, there are times when a friend can be used. A man of power, for example, often has dirty work that has to be done, and friends often do this the best. Also, if your plans go awry for some reason, you can use a friend as a convenient scapegoat. So I can go back if you need it, but still, so speaking my own attitude to this chapter, so like for me, it's too controversial. So firstly, I fully agree that it's better to avoid any business with friend, of course. Also, I agree that because of unconditional love, sometimes friends can't see all our weaknesses, opportunities, but still enemies, on contrary, usually highlights them, putting pressure on the sick points that we have. So, but my precondition, or I don't know, axiom for me is that not all people around us are our friends. We have limited number of friends who are like significant part of our life, like our family, for example, like part of our family. So, and you can't convert your friend to a scapegoat or to assign him to any dirty task. So it's not like about friendship at all. So there is why, like, from some points, I can agree, so that enemies can just help us to define our opportunities for growing up. But still, so it's not a good point that we can just, I don't know, make our friends to do, I don't know, some kind of dirty work instead of us, or I don't know, it's a way to lose friends. It's like my personal opinion. What do you think?
I think I have
If
a
you don't
question.
mind.
Like,
Oh,
oh, sorry.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, just just a question. Does everyone has enemies? I mean, I can't remember anyone who I could consider like real enemy, or I can't remember anyone who my friends could consider as an enemy. So in all cases, cooperation and
That's the
collaboration.
actual trick. That's the actual trick of all the books. So we should actually not like I would say we should divide the seeds and all the other stuff when reading the book, because like friends and enemies, they are so strong and powerful words.
Yeah.
Like they are like I would say they are antagonists, and the world is not like black and white, whatever we want out of that for like transparency and clarification, but it's always like 50 shades of gray or even more. And the problem is that when we read a book and we hear about the enemies, so we started thinking about like, okay, so I should take a person who I consider as an enemy, probably at least, and take it into my business. And I wouldn't do this because it would destroy everything. And at that moment, I won't follow with the rules or the path of that book. And for sure, I can't consider me as a like true leader or a true like manager according to that book. So that's the trick. And from that perspective, I would say we need to go deeper and see that it's not about like it's more about friends. It means like friends with whom we actually have the friendship, maybe from school or high school, or maybe from university, and then we decided to start the business and like trying to find the true partner. And from that perspective, it's always good to think about those friends. But according to enemies, it's not about enemies, but more about the opponent or the person who is really can share that his her opinion against our opinion. And actually, I would say that in this model, it always works. And you should, if you are going to start the business with friends, it's a good idea, by the way. But you should actually pick up those friends more carefully. So that should be like let's say three, even better four personalities, which are totally different from that perspective. Like I say always the five, but five it's like it's critical mass. But the four, it's always good. Why so? Because you always should have someone who can actually be against any idea, like as conservative as it's possible. Another one is optimistic as possible, and like other person, like let's say more kind of technical mind or more realistic mind, who is actually can like return everyone from their like let's say different kind of different ages into some middle. So that how can it work with friends, and still even arguing on something it will return you to let's say to the same bar you always share up together, to the same table and to the same like beer, remembering how you're like doing all of that stuff, what like shit you've gone through, and so on and so forth. And that's the kind of beauty of that. So like I think the main idea is to not encompass you with the same-minded friends. So with the people who really can like tell you what you are like what you're expecting they would say, to like kind of flourish you or to make you feel like powerful and confident about it. That's the thing. And in this case, I think it works. So just try to let's say change the words enemy with like the friend with opposite mind, or friend who truly can say you are like kind of asshole and know nothing about the topic or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, so just unfriend, not like everyone around us. So we have limited number of friends who are fully honest and sincere with us. So and speaking about, it's not like I don't know someone who are going to kill us. So but still we have a lot of people who envy or flatter us. So like pay attention to these people and reasons why they are doing that. So and it will be like food for thought for you, or like a key point to concentrate on in the like in the future, and it's like your opportunity to grow.
Yep, total true.
Any
That's
other
because
opinions?
I would like to say that it's a big tricky situation because sometimes you feel that this person is my truly friend. However, it can occur that that person always was your enemy, and you will know it only at the very end, because like for friends, it's so easy to get jealous and everything, and they will never tell you the truth. So that makes sense, like to keep you, like, let's say, enemies closer, because as minimum you know that they're sincerely, like, they don't like you, but they truly tell you that, like, what is wrong, and it helps you to grow, to change, to adjust your behavior.
Considering who your friend or not, so we should just pay attention on some actions that people do for us. So, and I believe that if this person is not fully sincere with you, I mean, like he or she think not what he usually express. So I believe that in his actions you can just get these points and just consider that this person is not truly friend for you. But still, it's very tricky. I fully agree.
But from managerial perspective, let's be sincere that for us as a managers, it's more important to, let's say, complete on time and budget, and this team we have, instead of like having following like rules of any book and then like not not get into any kind of destination, because that's truly what it is. Like I've seen on my experience a lot of time when we get in one person into the team who's actually before performed like on the speed, I don't know, like the full team performed on the speed on Ferrari, and then when we get one person into that team, the attitude to the work and the attitude to the project, the attitude to the manager become like worse, and the performance from that perspective will lose it totally. So as a team also. So that's the question. So like if we really need to follow the rule to hire enemy, probably in some cases yes, probably in some, let's say, situations when we have like mature project, or we need like kind of new blood in the project and the team, new ideas, new perspective, or something like that. So from that thing, I think we can have that as an option. But when we are in a rush, when we have like 1 week sprints, when we have like tough delivery and stuff like that, or project in the red zone, so I think that, like, to motivate team or to deal with the tough person on the project at that moment for the manager, I think that would be the least option he or she would expect to do at that moment on that project. So that's what I think, like from that perspective, like about the team. But it's I think it's more related to another next rule of this book about team management and about team building. I mean, building from perspective of creating the team.
Okay, if now let's move on with the next law. So cancel your intentions. Keep people of balance and in the dark by never revealing the purpose behind your action. If they have no clue what you're up to, they cannot prepare a defense. Let them far enough down their own path, envelope them in enough smoke, and by the time they realize your intention, it will be too late. So I put some real cases, not real cases exactly, but some explanation of these real cases just for giving you more content and contest about just understanding of the law. So I'll give you several minutes, just read it and let me know if you're done. Sorry, I'm back. Problems with connection. No. Where is it? Here is it. Do you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, let's move on. And now, do you need more time, guys?
Yeah, just a minute.
Okay. Okay, long silence. So I can just explain maybe the part in the very middle. So about like love. Um, the case was that like a man decided to. So he just liked a woman and he did everything just to getting your attention, and mostly what he did. Um, I don't know, some small signs, but nothing more. And she fell in love with him. So, but still, in the moment, he just explained and to her all his feelings that he also just in love with her. So, like the interest from her side, I don't know, just decreased. So but still it's all about manipulation. Let's move on to the next slide. So kitty power. Most people are open books. It's easy and natural to always want to talk about our feelings and plans. Uh, Many believe that by being honest and open, they are winning people's hearts. If you earn for power, quickly lay honesty aside and train yourself in the art of canceling your intention. Our first instinct is to always trust appearance. Simply dangle an object you seem to desire, a goal you seem to aim for in front of people's eyes, and they will take an appearance for reality. So some more quotes. People easily mistake sincerity for honesty. Since they value honesty and want to believe in the honesty of those around them, they will rarely doubt you or see through your act. Remember, the best deceivers do everything they can to cloak their roguish qualities. And remember, the paranoid and very often the easiest to to deceive. Win their trust in one area, and you have a smoke screen that blinds their view in another. So, speaking about this particular chapter, let's me go back. So if you need time to read, but still, so love and friendship is not about power. The desire to manipulate, guide, guide. I mean, like to manipulate, to lead people, to make them do something. So is all about neurasthenics and self-doubt, but still, I fully agree with the main sense, and I wanna just add two things. So talkers is a godsend for a spy, and we should clarify for ourselves difference who plays in your team and who against you. So with the team, we should be fully sincere and honest. The team should understand where we lead them. So there is why, like, we should divide people around us into several, not parts, but still groups, and we should understand what kind of information, details, and our thoughts we can share with each particular group, I would say. And it's not about love and friendship, because love and friendship is all about honesty and sincerity. What do you think?
I totally agree with you. And the story about the story about man who discovered his intentions, but by talking about love, it just I don't know, reminds me of some pickup pickup books, pickup manuals that were popular some time ago. So yeah, I just I can't get over the emotional part of this book. Like, it really triggers me. I can see that Andrei looks at everything from the perspective of management, and he just takes the idea and adopts it to the reality. But when I read this, when I read this book, I get really a lot of emotions, and maybe even I get a bit angry that some people around can live like this and think like this and look at everyone else like this. And I also think that love and friendship is not a place for manipulation.
Yeah, fully agree.
I have a bit different opinion here. Honestly, for me, I think that we can face this law in every aspect of our life, at work, with your relatives, friends, I know, husband, children, parents, with everyone. But it's not that cruel, right? But we all, from time to time, do this smoke screen, even if we want to get the salary rise, right? We can pretend that we already got some offer from another company. However, indeed, we do not have any offer, and vice versa from the company perspective. Yeah, they can pretend that they have variety of other much better candidates for this position, just to manipulate and let you think, make you think faster, right?
But
And I think that this law works perfectly and like 100% when people play it.
well, it's about business what you're talking about, but you, I guess you wouldn't manipulate your husband or someone you love by pretending that you have someone else in order to get something from your beloved person. I mean, it's applicable to business, but here the author talks about love and friends.
And,
I think
and
it's applicable to
here I
both.
want to argue against you. And
Yes, please.
you're not manipulated husband. I will go with guys. Okay, I will go with guys also. So I think that's not fair. Not fair. Like it's always playing. Sorry, Katrina, I've interrupted you, but I think it's always the game, and it depends on how, let's say, how soft it is, or vice versa, how hard it is. So that may be the trick. So we can say, like, we always try to, we can use harder word manipulation. At the same time, we can say, I'm trying to convince you. So I'm not manipulating your thoughts, but I'm trying to convince you, giving you kind of another arguments which you should take into consideration before making the decision. So that's like, and that's again, that's we're playing with words. That's the interchanging of the, of the words meanings, but at the same time, we always do the same. Like with our kids, like if you wouldn't eat this broccoli, I wouldn't give you a candy. So that's the normal trick for any parents I've ever heard. Even though we always say before our kids was born, we always say that I would never do with my kids those tricks. So that's like that's all about meaning.
Well,
Sorry,
Andrei,
Katrina, again.
if you were the author of this book, this would be a completely different book. That's what I'm talking about. It's not about the idea; it's about the perspective. When you say it, your perspective is more human, and this book gives more like villain perspective. So yeah, that's the difference.
So, and you talked to like about manipulation directly, but still the law is about, I don't know, being endless in your thoughts, in your speeches, and so on. So, I mean, like all the time, you keep some like intrigue in the air. So, but still, you can do that with company, with I don't know, colleagues, for example, in some cases, with someone around you, but not with I don't know, beloved or your family or your friends. So, because like these people should know what to expect towards you, because they want to rely on you. So there is why like
But sometimes
my
it can be a good manipulation, not only in a bad perspective. If we take into account this situation with these guys, a guy who is in love, if he played his role perfectly fine, he would get that woman first of all, and second of all, she would respect him a lot. Because like if you play this game very, very well, so it's something that's really good. It's like chess, you know.
Yeah, but she can lose all her, I don't know, nervous, fall
No,
in love with
no,
this
you know
man.
what? Sometimes, but he made her look at him, right? Because if you see the something that you can easily get, something cheap and yeah, easy to get, it's not, you do not have that much interest.
Yeah. So
And not
maybe,
about people, like about, I don't know, food, clothes, and everything. It's applicable for everything, I believe. Even for job. If you see that you can easily get a job, you can think like, probably something is wrong there. I need to look at some other.
maybe. So like, I can't disagree, but so in some cases it's very difficult to agree. But still, we have different opinions. It's okay also. So guys, we have 3 minutes left, and I believe we shouldn't want to the next chapter, so we can just continue with them in our next session. I'm not sure how often we should set up such calls with you. So first of all, I want to get some kind of feedback from your side. I mean, firstly, about the format. I mean, when I or someone else will keep the format of presentation, like putting some quotes, then reading them, and then just discussing. So if it's okay for you, just let me know. If no, just provide please your ideas how it can be improved. So, and speaking about velocity, I spend a lot of time just for some organizational moments, of course, next time. So we can save this time for discussing more chapters. So, but still, what I'm going to do, so first of all, I want to get your feedbacks, then I'll share this presentation to the whole community. So, and in case you're going to continue with me to read this book, please just use this presentation to put in your own highlights. Also, inside of it, and then during the next call, I mean, so I'll be not the only facilitator. So like the one who put particular quote will read it and just comment. So maybe in this case it would be better. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you for
Thank you
gathering
so
us
much.
together.
Thanks a lot. It's a great activity. I like it.
Thank you. Yeah, it's interesting initiative. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, thanks guys. Bye bye.
Have a
Happy
nice
New
day.
Year.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Have a nice day.